One, two, one, two.
Jimmy DeMook.
Give me love, give me love, give me peace on earth. Give me light, give me life, keep me free from birth. Give me hope, help me cope with this heavy load. Trying to touch and reach you with heart and soul. Yeah. Today I'd like to talk about why the moderate pro-choice defense position, is indefensible and the harm that it does. This is in light of the recent Supreme Court decision overturning Roe versus Wade, and at least as it stands thus far, is going to send the matter of abortion back to the states. Now, for those like me who are anti-abortion, generally called pro-life, we hold to the philosophically sound position that abortion is intrinsically evil. It should never be legal. It never solves any problems. And anything it hopes to help, it only makes it worse. So my first reason, I'm going to share my screen here. We're going to look at a couple things. First reason I say this is, let me look here. This is from a recent Pew Research poll. Majority of abortion rights protesters say how long a woman has been pregnant should matter in determining legality of abortion. Among the 61% of U.S. adults who say abortion should be legal in quote unquote most or all cases. So of this 61%, 56% say how long a woman has been pregnant should matter, and in some cases abortion should be illegal. 12% say how long a woman has been pregnant should not matter, but in some cases abortion should be illegal. And then there's the 31% that say abortion should be legal in all cases with no exception. So of the 61% of adult Americans, who say that abortion should be legal in most or all cases, 56% of them, that's a plurality, a majority, it's a majority, say that how long the woman is pregnant should matter. The next question should be, why should that matter? Again, if you're going to support abortion, what does it matter how long the woman's been pregnant? This is the problem with the pro-choice, the so-called pro-choice position, is that it takes into account too much emotional input, too much sensory data from the average person, and the average person is ill-informed about these topics. Anyone like I have, who's had even a modicum of debates with someone who is pro-abortion, will know that the average person just does not understand human biology. They don't understand what abortion is, what abortion does. A lot of this is because of the propaganda over the past 50 or so years that has told us that it's not a baby, it's a fetus, it's an embryo, it's a clump of cells. All of these are slogans, if you will, or catchphrases designed to dehumanize the preborn baby, the baby in the mother's womb. Now, why is the moderate stance so dangerous? Why is it just as immoral? And in fact, politically, it's worse. It's because moderates, in this case, when we're talking about life or death, moderates do nothing except lend aid to the pro-abortion side of things. The same thing could be said of those who would consider themselves, quote unquote, moderates on the issue of chattel slavery or human slavery. Slavery, as far as chattel slavery, is either intrinsically evil or it's not. There's no moderate stance to be held. The problem is that most Americans don't really care too much about the issue one way or another until they're poked or prodded or asked about it in polite company, and they're programmed to say that they support a woman's right to choose. Now, anyone who holds stances, as I do, pro-life stances, will know that the pro-abortion side has basically zero ammunition. They have nothing on their side, neither science nor philosophy, nothing, which is why they will leave it up to things like opinion. We'll think about, emotion. Well, they'll say you got to listen to the stories of the women, or think about all these children that are unwanted, or they'll muddy the language, or they'll blame religion. They'll say that this is religion that is pushing this, and there is a role to be played by religion, of course. Anybody who says that religion should be completely separated from politics is insane. Okay, that's an indefensible position as well. So here you see, of the 61%, 56% say that the amount of time that the woman is pregnant should matter. My question is, why? If you're watching this and you consider yourself pro-choice, at least in some areas, why should that matter? It's either a human being, body and soul, a person, or it's not. If you think that time matters, then you have to give me a reason why. If you believe in the spiritual aspect of man, that a human is body and soul, then you have to tell me, when does the soul enter the body? Even then, I would say that doesn't matter, because still a human person, the human nature. If you don't believe in that, then you have to explain to me why a stage of development should matter or not when you're unjustly terminating a human life. Okay. Another thing I wanted to look at here is religion. So religion does play an issue in this. As you will often see when it comes to questions of morality, naked morality, right and wrong according to the natural law, people who are religious and devoutly religious, more often than not, come down on the right side of the issue. So the more religious a person is, the more devoutly religious are, the less likely they are to support abortion. So as this is also from Pew Research says, white evangelicals stand out in their opposition to abortion. At 6 weeks of pregnancy, for example, 44% say abortion should be illegal, compared with 17% and 15% of Black Protestants. That's interesting on matters of race, but that's a separate issue. 40%, way too low. But then you go down here, at 6 weeks, a plurality of Catholics, 41%, say that abortion should be legal. Again, these are the Christians, these are the evangelicals, these are the Catholics who are not devout. I guarantee you, you will not find a devout Catholic who supports abortion. But what you will find is a lot of people who consider themselves to be moderate. And in this country, for a very long time, we've been tricked into believing that moderation in matters of life and death and in moral questions is a virtue, when it is anything but. It is a hindrance to the kingdom of God. It is a hindrance to well-informed decision-making. It is a drain on everybody's. It's a drag, man. It's just a drag. Okay, it's a drain on all of us. It's a drag. Also down here, even at 24 weeks, 62% of self-described atheists say abortion should be legal. Is anyone surprised that 62% of atheists say that abortion should be legal at 24 weeks? No. It is no mistake that someone who denies the existence of God, denies personhood to unborn human beings, and is all for the wholesale slaughter of unborn children. Why? Because at a very basic level, an atheist is someone who has given into despair. That's just the way it is. The last thing I want to look at here, before I go heading on down the road, got Pedro coming over here soon. The last thing I want to look at here is views on abortion by level of education. Now, this is often reported that the higher the level of education among Americans, the more likely they are to support abortion. 2/3 of college graduates, that's 66%, say abortion should be legal in all or most cases, as do 63% of those with some college education. Among those with a high school degree or less education, 54% say abortion should be legal in all or most cases, while 44% should be legal in all or most cases. What do we have here? Now, what they would like you, and they, I mean the multinational corporations, global capitalism, the DNC, everybody who's out to control your life and everybody's out to make your life a living hell, what they want you to think is that, look, all the smart, rich, affluent people support abortion, man. So you should go along with it, because if you don't, you're a rube, you may be a hillbilly, you're ignorant, you're uncultured, you don't get with it. Okay. You're not down with it. Okay. What we have here is a form of elitism that is very literally leading to the destruction of millions of human lives. See, these people who are affluent, who are rich, who are well-to-do, will very, very rarely themselves procure abortions. They may for their daughter to save her from something when she makes a stupid decision, but they do not promote it in their neighborhoods. You won't find a Planned Parenthood in the rich neighborhood. You won't find a Planned Parenthood in the affluent neighborhood. Okay. It's something that's to be kept in the minority neighborhoods with the blacks and the Hispanics and the very poor white people. Let them have their abortions, which is why black women make up something like 14% of the childbearing population, give or take, but have something like 36% of all abortions. It's a well-known figure among pro-lifers that if you're a black baby in New York City, you're more likely to be aborted than you are to be born. Okay. The eugenicist roots of Planned Parenthood and the abortion movement in this country and in Europe are well known. This is easy to figure out. Okay. That's what's going on here. These are the elites, once again, trying to control the poorer classes. This is global capitalism trying to secure for themselves a very sterile, very ready and willing workforce. This is why, since the decision came out last Friday, this is why many multinational corporations have announced that they will pay for their employees to travel to abortion havens to have abortions. Why is that? It's not because they give a rat's ass about anybody. It's because they want sterile, willing workers, especially young women. The scariest thing to a capitalist pig, and I don't mean all capitalists, but I mean the kind of pig that would pay for a woman to go get an abortion, the kind with the Monopoly guy hat on and the monocle man, the one that wants to see the world turned into basically a Monopoly board. Their biggest nightmare is a chaste, virtuous woman who gets married, and that's the only man that she's with, and she has many children, and she's happy, and she's free, and she's spiritually thriving because she's not a pawn in their game. Okay? This is why giant corporations want to pay for people to go have abortions. I mean, other people, I think I saw Tucker Carlson recently did something about that, but this is well known. Okay, this is well known. That's why they say, for instance, why do all the corporations line up to put rainbows, 6 striped rainbows in this new this new flag with every manner of color and stripe on it at war with each other? Why do they put this all over everything during June and call it Pride Month and support that wholesale? Why? Because the homosexual is, as I've heard Dr. E. Michael Jones say, the homosexual is the perfect consumer. Think about it. They're sterile. They're not going to have children. They're not going to produce children of their own. They're less likely to be involved in committed relationships. They have more disposable income. They can work longer hours. They can go to school and rack up a ton of student debt and get these extended degrees, and they can have jobs. They can push back retirement age. All of the money they get, they can spend on themselves. They're completely conceited. They're completely concerned with themselves, and that's what they want. Okay, this is why they're paying for women to go have abortions, man. It's because they want you to be the perfect consumer, brother, man. So that's why they're doing it. So again, I think the moderate pro-choice opinion is not tenable. It's philosophically unsound. There's no reason to hold it. In a weird sense, I have more respect for the abortionist who says, abort them up to the time of birth and even afterward if the woman wants to, because if it's her body, her choice, let's face it, the baby's not surviving a day without suckling on the woman, without taking from the woman. Anybody who's a mother can tell you, and if you have a wife who has children, you know this, or if you've seen other women, it's a 24/7 job being a mother. So I have more respect for that position than the one who says, yeah, I'm for abortion in certain cases, but after certain weeks, no, because what does it matter if you can detect a heartbeat? What does it matter if the baby feels pain? I agree. Those are things we need to focus in on because they affect a lot of people. People respond to that kind of stuff. Okay. Because they're used to watching movies and their brains are mush and they want to get a hold of something tangible, like there's a heartbeat you can hear. And it does make a difference. It shows that women, for instance, they found that women who hear the heartbeat before are less likely to have an abortion afterwards. That's all great. But the point is, if you use your noodle and think about it, there's no reason to cut off abortion at some weak line and have it before. It's either a human from the moment of conception, body and soul, or it's not. That's why the moderate choice is nothing but a drain on all of us. So if you find yourself in that camp, I would ask you to do some serious soul searching, do some learning, educate yourself, and for once in your life, think, why do I hold this position? And don't hold a position just because you think it's what you're supposed to say at family gatherings or at parties or when coworkers ask you, because it doesn't make you sound smart. It makes you sound like a dullard. If you just say, well, in some cases, yeah, but this case not. At this week limit, no. No, that's not extreme. That's being pro-human. That's being pro-life. Okay? If you're a humanist, you should be against abortion. If you're a feminist of some stripe, you should be against abortion. If you're a Christian, if you're a religionist of any stripe, you should be against abortion. So I'll leave it there. I'm going to keep on trucking. May God bless you.